All right. I am happy to be in community with a brother from the Gullah Geechee area where my family comes from. Yesterday, we talked with a person running for governor of South Carolina. Last week, we talked with someone running for governor of South Carolina. And this man wants to unseat Jim Clyburn. He is running for the 6th Congressional District as a candidate in South Carolina. Let me welcome Gregg Marcel Dixon to the Karen Hunter Show. Hey.
Hey, thank you for having me. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Hey, we're very familiar with where you're from because I've talked about my family, a lot of family members' grandfather, and we even had a Gullah Geechee professor from Harvard on to talk about the language and how powerful the community is. Why is it important? What? First of all, tell us that moment when you decided you were going to run for office.
It was after I confronted James Clyburn at a town hall in June 2021. I went through the statistics of his district, the sixth poorest district in the U.S. overall out of 435 total, third poorest for children. I brought up how he endorsed Joe Biden, who I never liked, ever, still don't. He endorsed Joe Biden, and I said how Joe Biden has done executive orders for other groups, even illegal immigrants, LGBTQ, Native Americans getting historic funding. But Joe Biden said he was going to have Black Americans back. And I said that Joe Biden can do an executive order via a reparations commission via executive order. He bring back the Freedmen's Bureau via executive order, and that he should be doing these things as he owes us. But if he doesn't, I told Clyburn it is his job to push Biden to serve his district being a majority Black district, 50 to 60%. The next day, I was hoping to go on his Twitter page and see that something I said to him resonated with him, but he was on there tweeting about illegal immigrants needing to be citizens and, the crises at the border, completely dismissing the crises in Black America that's been centuries long caused by this nation. After that, I said, my great-grandmother always told me, don't ever complain about a problem unless you're going to be willing to help try to solve it. So this is me trying to solve a decade-long problem for my area.
Now, Marcel Dixon is here. Gregg Marcel Dixon, Marcel, the number 4 Congress. I have been extremely vocal. I don't have any allegiances to any groups, anybody, which makes me, I guess, dangerous to a lot of people because I just care about things getting done. I said yesterday, I think there have been people in Congress way too long. I think at a certain age, and it's not ageism, but I think that you move into the role of wise counsel. The fight in the streets for young folk who are willing to roll up their sleeves and fight, and not institutional politicians, which is what we have a lot of right now on both sides of the aisle in Congress. So you're getting in. I applaud. I think anybody who doesn't like what's happening should do something about it, and running for office is definitely bringing a brick. Now, when we talk about qualifications, before you came in, we were talking about Herschel Walker. First of all, if you lived in Georgia, would you vote for him? Just need to know.
No.
Okay, all right. There we go. You just passed an important test. All right. So,
may I say real quick though, I wouldn't vote for Warnock either. Let me just throw that out there real quick.
So, who would you vote for? This is like there's a binary choice.
No, neither of them have earned my vote. Okay, they are saying when you go in front of Asian Americans, they come with policies for the Asian American community. When they go in front of Native Americans, they come with policies for the Native American community. When they go in front of Hispanic and Latinos, whatever race they want to classify themselves as, they come to them with policies. When people want Black Americans to vote, all we get is a black face. We get the Cupid shuffle. We might get some soul food, and we get told your ancestors died for you to vote. Don't tell me why my ancestors died. Tell me why my ancestors lived. Tell me what they were living to get. So Herschel Walker, no Raphael Warnock has a Black agenda. Neither one of them supports reparations for Black American slaves. So until either one gets a Black agenda, neither one of them will get my vote.
So
my vote has to be earned.
Reparations, which I am for, can't happen without a congressional act. right? Which there's been several that have made it into the House, and none have come out of the House to go to a vote for the Senate, right? As far back, I think there's HR, what is it, something
HR 40.
40, and that's like 30 years ago, 40 years ago. It's been
Like almost 40, yes.
Yes. And so that has to be, yes, check. But there's so many other, and I feel like sometimes we get caught in, not in something that can't happen, because it can happen and it should happen, but there's so many other immediate issues that also can happen and should happen. And I'm talking about everything from education reform, which I think we desperately need, which would dramatically impact us because Black people are disproportionately in the public school system, healthcare, which we are disproportionately impacted by as well, which we saw COVID actually expose the disparity in healthcare. I think that's way more important. That's literal life. And as far as reparations, there hasn't been an agreement across the board about what that would even look like. So just to study it hasn't happened. I agree to your point, Marcel. That should be on the agenda. Put an executive order in to actually come up with a game plan, because we do nothing without a blueprint. But what are your other issues that concern specifically your constituents, your Black community in your district?
Before I answer that very, very important question, and I'm going to come back to it, I do want to talk about the other issues. Black Americans, we are the only group that gets told, put your issues aside because there are so many other issues at play. No one.
That's not what I said. I said, deal with me. Deal with. I didn't say put the issues aside. I said, what are the issues?
I'm not saying what you said, but you said there are so many other issues
concerning Black people. Concerning Black people. Don't tell me what other people say. You're talking to Karen Hunter today.
No. Okay, concerning Black people, and I'm going to finish what I was saying about that. We are always told that there are other issues, but we have specific issues that impact us. Black Americans and Black women, especially, they like to say, have shown up and saved democracy, have shown up and saved America. Yeah, let's talk about healthcare. You just said it. We have the shortest lives. Black women are the most likely to die giving birth to a child. Poor women in countries like Mexico and the Philippines have a better chance of surviving childbirth than a Black woman in the USA. Black men are the most likely to be homeless. 15 to 20% of the population, but over 55% of the homeless. So even when Black Americans save America, America never shows up to save us. So what I'm saying with my stance about Raphael Warnock and Herschel Walker, until they come up with policies saying, Black America, we're going to save you, I ain't showing up to save America. Now, as far as what's in my district's issues are also issues that are specifically Black American issues. We're the majority here. Land theft is a major issue. There's a system called heirs property in South Carolina. You have family here, so I know you know about it. It's when people inherit property when they did not get it bequeathed during a will. Mm-hmm. So unfortunately, the family members get a share of the literal land. But what happens is if any member loses their share of that property, a racist, corrupt judge would usually allow a wealthy white person to buy out everyone's share. So it could be 60 acres of property, 10 people living on there. That's how I grew up. It was my great-grandparents, my great-grandmother, siblings, cousins, all on a long stretch of coastal property. They will say $10,000. Each member gets $1,000, get off the property, but the property's worth $750,000. That has resulted in trillions of dollars lost in wealth for Black families in my area. So Clyburn's district being the sixth poorest out of 435, though he's been there for 30 years, it is mainly because of we are land poor. Most wealth in America comes from land ownership. That's one. The second issue is schools. The corridor of shame is in South Carolina. I know you know about it because you have family down here. It refers to majority Black rural districts where the poverty rate for Black people is over 80%. The average poverty rate in America is 11. Black Americans in Clyburn's district have a poverty rate of 80 to 90%. The kingmaker, okay? But school failure is just as high. In some schools, 90% of the Black boys are not reading and doing math on grade level because schools are inequitably funded. Another problem in my community is poverty, okay? I already said that one. Toxic water. North Charleston has the most toxic water in the United States of America. North Charleston over 50% Black. Denmark, South Carolina is 70% Black, a majority Black rural town with 2 HBCUs. Their water quality has not been good for 10 years. They were putting a chemical in those Black people's water without approval. Clyburn should be shouting about that from the rooftops. Instead, he let white Bernie Sanders bring 18-wheelers filled with pallets of water for the people there to have water to drink and to bathe. Gun violence is a poverty in my issue, but the biggest issue facing my district is Congressman Clyburn, who's been there for 30 years, and this is what he has us living with. Poverty, violence, bad schools, homelessness, land theft, no wealth. He's the biggest problem.
Okay. I can't argue with that. I'm struggling. I struggle myself with institutional politicians because I think you get comfortable. And Washington has a way, they say absolute power corrupts absolutely. When you get to Washington, you get to see it as a different culture. I spent some time there with Congressman Keith Ellison, and he said that one of the worst things is the constant fundraising. I spent weeks there with him, and it was always a fundraiser, because every 2 years you have to raise money.
You got to get money.
And it's exhausting, and you have to knock on doors, and you got to, deal with these lobbyists, and then you got to decide whose money you're not going to take and whose money you are going to take if you have any integrity. Most don't. There's insider trading. There's all of this, but there's a club in Washington of people that once you get in, I think some people get happy to get in. I'm not accusing Clyburn of that. I don't know him personally, but I feel as if, maybe it's time for somebody new or something new. So when you get to, when your primary is when?
The early voting, South Carolina's doing early voting for the first time. Of course, it would be during my race, May 31st, and it ends June 10th. Then the election day is June 14th. So voting has already started, and we've already seen over half, and it was 3 days ago, 3 days into early voting, over half of the people that voted the last time Clyburn had a primary challenge have voted. So seems like turnout has increased. We'll see. Usually that's supposed to be a good sign for the challenger, but we'll see. I don't know what to expect.
I like how you talk, and I'm watching the Twitter feed, and what I'm seeing, which is the challenge you're going to face, is that we've been asking you to speak about things theoretically, and people want you to speak in these absolutes. You aren't voting in the Warnock Herschel Walker thing, but you're saying, I don't want the lesser of two evils. I want better. And if we can't start thinking about what is better and only thinking about what are the options we have, we can't get to the dream. We can't get to the vision. So that's what I've been talking to the people on Twitter about, because they aren't hearing you because they're thinking only in this is what we got. And you're talking about forget what we got, where we got to get.
Exactly. You know what? Those people, they are embarrassed. If they are descendants of American slaves, I'm gonna say this to them. I don't care if they're inside my district and won't vote for me. You are an embarrassment to our ancestors. Yes, you are. Our ancestors didn't stand up on the plantations and revolt. South Carolina, the Gullah Geechee people, we are the people who revolted the most against slavery. Okay, the Gullah Wars, they couldn't conquer us. We didn't revolt just for them to treat us nicer on the plantation. We didn't revolt just so they can be nicer to us. We revolted because slavery was an abomination, it was evil, and we knew we deserved freedom. We didn't march in this Jim Crow and redlining because we just wanted to go to school. White people want them to be nice to us. We marched because we wanted what this country owed us. So I am not going to compromise and do the lesser of two evils. If both of you are equal, I don't want neither one of you. And I'm going to down on what I just said in case they don't like it. I wouldn't vote for Walker nor Warnock. Both of them suck. Now, also, the reason why I'm running is because of this lesser of two evil mentality. I tell my people, don't say you're not going to vote. If there is no one worthy of your vote, and I'll say every single person in Congress is not deserving of my vote, if no one's worthy of your vote, then you get up, you run for office, and you become the person that's worthy of people's vote. That's why I'm running. I never wanted to run. I was a quiet teacher, doing good work with my kids, had a quiet, peaceful life. I want to get involved in politics, but I don't regret the decision because I am calling out things that should have been called out a long time ago. People voting for Clyburn because he's an old black Southern man, and you're not supposed to question him. You're not supposed to question a Democrat. If you question a Democrat, you're a Republican. Let me tell y'all something. These little talking points, they ain't going to work on me. They ain't going to work on me. And you can't shame someone who don't know no shame. And that's me.
I've said this. That I know. We're talking with Gregg Marcel Dixon. Marcel, the number 4, Marcel, the number 4, Congress is where you can follow him on Twitter. Now, not voting allows, because here's what you need to know. The folk that vote their whiteness, they don't give a damn whether the person's a circus clown, a pedophile, whether they embezzled money. They don't care if they're a crook. They don't care whether the person's a high school drop. They do not care whether the person can read, write, do arithmetic. They're gonna vote their whiteness because they know what the power is in holding office. You not voting because neither one of them represents your ideals or the things you want to get done guarantees almost guarantees
going to run. He didn't say I'm not going to vote.
No, he said if run. So if he said if he was in Georgia, he wouldn't vote for either one of them. And he's not on the ballot.
He'd be running. He said if he was in Georgia,
you would be running. Okay. All right.
He'd be running.
But I'm saying this for people who say I'm not voting for either one of them. You are literally handing over the yes, Marcel.
Okay, I have to talk about that. Instead of talking to those people about the harm their actions are going to cause, we need to be talking to Warnock about why people won't vote for him. Don't get mad at the voters for not voting. Get mad at the candidate for not bringing people out to vote. See, that's the backwards thing we do here. We want to play a guilt trip on black voters when they say, I ain't voting for none of you because none of you have earned my vote. Instead of getting mad at the voters, no, call Warnock over here and say, hey, why are you not, you're not hearing what the black voters are saying? They said they're not voting for you because you have a black agenda. It is then Warnock's responsibility to say, what can I do to earn your vote? So if anyone gets blamed for these white Republicans who show up and vote for people like Roy Moore, who was accused at least of be inappropriate with underage girls or whatever.
Yes, he was.
It is Warnock's fault. It's the candidate's fault. We have the responsibility of making a message to people. Let me tell you, I've talked to hundreds of thousands of black South Carolinians, and let me tell you what's happening. Two things is happening that I think the Democrats are ignoring, and you know what? And they're going to get what they get. One, older black voters are starting not to show up any longer. They're giving up too. I had older black voters say to me, my roof ain't been fixed under Obama. It wasn't fixed under Trump. And it ain't getting fixed under Biden. And they said it ain't going to get fixed under you. That's the attitude older black voters, who are usually the most loyal, are saying to me. The second thing that's happening, I'm hearing Republicans now starting to say things like reparations and black agenda. Republicans are getting smart enough to realize that, wait a minute, black Americans are pretty pissed off with the Democrats. So we just got to start giving them little stuff and we can pull them over to us. It is happening. No one's going to get mad at my people about that. We need to get mad at the Democratic Party. I am so sick of them telling us to show up and save America. Yet when black voters say, okay, hey, it's been 500 years. Hey, can y'all save me now? They go, oh, no, wait. We got to take care of the Ukrainians first. We got to give illegal immigrants citizenship first. Oh, wait. We got to make sure Asian Americans get a COVID-19 hate bill first. Oh, wait. White feminists are saying abortion is the most important issue. So we got to take care of abortion first. Oh, darn, wait, y'all. Now we got to take care of universal health care first. Black people, we're going to get to you. We've been told that since the 1960s. My thing is this: we got to take the anger and outrage about people not voting where it belongs to the Democrats who have sucked at giving black Americans a reason to come out and vote. And if anybody on Twitter wants to come for me, Marcel for Congress, and can set up the Twitter space, let's have at it.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. 866-801-8255. You have a few folk that want to ask you questions and talk to you, so we're going to do that. Matter of fact, Smith, I know we have a guest that's coming in. Let's go to a break. Marcel, can you stick around, take some calls? Because this is a live show.
Yes,
I'm going to call it audible. I'm going to go to a break. When we come back, Marcel will be here sticking around, and we'll take Ralph has a question for you, and James in Florida, and I think Charles might also ring in. So stick around. The number here is 866-801-8255, and see if Deja will stick around until 5. All right, Smith. Thank you. It's the Karen Hunter Show. We'll be right back.